All right, and we're on.
Good morning.
Good morning, everybody. And I got all the cameras working. Everybody see my ugly mug for Monday morning?
We got
Hope you didn't eat your breakfast yet.
and a mystery guest.
And our mystery guest is on her way.
Yeah, it's Casper the Ghost.
Sent her a text. The 9 a.m. bells are out there ringing, and
Yeah,
she hears them and said they're early again.
yeah,
But my watch says 9:01,
yeah.
and she'll show up.
Eventually.
So, how was your weekend, Paul?
It was okay. You used to say not long enough, but now who cares?
My wife gets up. I said, "Where are you going so early? I got to go to work." I said, "That's a bitch." But
yeah,
we all been there. So
yeah, we have.
She's coming to the end of the golden rainbow at some point here. So.
Oh, that's good. Yeah. Well, for so many years, you get up at a certain time, get in the car, and drive to work, and then,
Yeah,
never
and all of a
spend any
sudden,
time at home.
It is now starting to sink into me, Paul, that I'm retired.
Yeah.
It took a while. It looked like a long vacation. You know how you first
Yeah.
stopped?
Yeah.
It felt like a long vacation. Now it's like, okay.
Yeah.
I'm not. Although I've been invited back for the outage, so we'll see. I haven't heard from him since, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Anyhow, it was kind of chilly this morning.
It is chilly.
It reminded me that this is still April, but it's supposed to be in the 50s today and sunny. So
yeah, I think it's going to go to 60 next couple of days.
Yeah,
but it's going to not be very good weather. I think it's supposed to be showers on Wednesday. So
yeah,
one of these days, the sun's going to come out and stay out. So
all right. Is anybody out there? Oh, there we go. Good morning, Laura.
Yeah.
Who's coming?
What do I hear?
There she is.
A mystery guest.
Those darn bells were early again.
They are. It's nice to hear them again, but they gotta set the time correctly.
I blame the bells.
We start early, Kathy.
Damn
Play
bells.
a little tune, and then they go into the countdown or whatever.
Yeah, but they can't be doing that. It messes me up.
Oh, okay. Now, Paul, been here. We've already been talking for 15 minutes.
Yeah,
well, that's your fault. The hell did you do? Why'd you start 15 minutes early?
No, we didn't start 15 minutes early. We were just sitting there talking.
We just started on time.
Whatever.
Paul goes, "Who's sitting next to me today?" All right. So we already talked. How was your weekend? Feeling better?
Yeah, I'm feeling much better. I was in bed from like Friday late afternoon to Sunday morning. It was just I was done. I was cooked. But
standing out in the rain Thursday didn't help, did it?
That's what Rich keeps saying. He was like, "I told you not to go. You shouldn't have been standing out in the rain." I'm like,
I told my wife too. I said, "Kathy shouldn't have been out in the rain."
No, but it was for a good cause, so it was fine.
Yep.
I talking about the
food distribution.
Yeah. I did it one time during the hot weather.
Yeah,
and I thought I was going to die.
Yeah, it is. It's very.
It was so hot. I had to get in my car and leave.
It's a lot of work. Yeah.
I couldn't take it.
Oh, it's not easy. You get some people who say we appreciate what you're doing, things like that.
Yeah.
And
well, yeah, there is.
But Thursday, I got some. You don't know what you're doing over there.
Yeah, with the traffic.
With the traffic and everything on 138.
There's no good. There's no good. I don't know what to do about that. I mean, there's a ton of cars. It lasts about an hour.
Yep.
And it's just gonna suck. I don't know what else to say about that.
I think Tina's gonna work with United Way about doing something. I think that's what she mentioned to me because she saw what the issue was. As a matter of fact, cop car came by and I think, "You okay?" He said, "Yeah." I said, "You here for me?" I said, "No, I got a car broke down the road."
Oh, yeah. I was wondering. I saw him go through because I was stuck in traffic getting there.
Yeah.
I was late getting there because I was stuck in the traffic and I couldn't even get up there to park so that I could volunteer.
Yeah. She texted me, "Hey, traffic's all the way back to the storage.
Back past the storage units." He's like, "I'm doing the best I can."
"I'm doing the best I can, ma'am."
Wow.
It was pretty bad. It really was.
250 families sold. So
I
put a big sign out there like McDonald's had,
right?
So it is what it is.
But yeah, and it was raining and it was cold. It sucked. It really did. It sucked. But we did it. We got through it. We survived.
Yeah, people offering me umbrellas and all that stuff. I said, "No, I'm good."
Rich was, I had asked him ahead of time, like, do we have an umbrella? And he's like, no, I don't think so. Because the last one I had got taken away when I was in the office. It was like really windy and it snapped it as soon as I tried using it. So I lost that one.
Yep.
So he stopped halfway through and brought me one.
Good.
Brought me an umbrella.
What a nice guy
I
that
know.
Rich is.
He was.
He's a nice guy.
He's a
was
real
nice.
nice guy.
Well, he has to be, you know.
And you should see the guy eat too. Holy
And he's,
crap.
and he's always on time. And
He's always early. Yes.
I wonder what happens when they have to go someplace together.
There's a lot of, what time is it? What time is it? What time is it? I'm always asking him, what time is it?
Are you ready yet?
There's a lot of that happening.
Oh, yeah, every time they show up, you know, Mike, I know you're in the air, Mike, but I'm going to tell you when we meet for dinner, it's like they walk in late and it's Rich points
Always.
Anyway,
I have like time blindness or something. I don't know.
so it's okay.
Whatever.
We were just talking about when we used to get up and go to work, Paul and I.
Yeah.
We had to be
Back
somewhere
in the
on
day.
time. Back in the day, we had to show up on time.
You're going back to work though this fall
only
for a little
4
while.
4 or 5 weeks. You know, they asked me. I said yes, but I haven't heard from them.
No.
They still got to figure their budget out.
Mm-hmm. And you went back too after you retired.
I went back to work for 10 years.
Yeah. Holy crap! 10 years. Jesus. That's almost like a whole other.
It did.
Like.
Well, you know, I retired. Then I worked as a vendor for a couple of years. Then I got hired back. Actually, went back as a new employee.
That's so crazy.
You know, and then the funny thing about it is I retired I was there, and then I left on a Friday. When I went back to work, I had to go through the freaking drug test. I mean, I just left.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Oh,
So I got
God.
the camera to work this time, so now I'm on, so you can see my face.
Oh, good.
They could hear me. They didn't see my face. Anyway, figured that out. And then Mike texted me, what do you put on the scrolling underneath? Make sure you put all the sponsors on.
Yep.
Well,
Well, you got your chicken scratch instructions here.
Yeah, good. Chicken scratch. I can read it. And I got the chicken dinner promo. I'll read a little later. Again.
We also have Saturday is the Earth Day cleanup.
Earth Day cleanup.
Earth Day cleanup.
Today's
So,
actually Earth Day.
yes.
Yeah, it is.
Yep.
Happy Earth Day.
Yep. So we'll be cleaning up. Friends of Patchogue Forest is supplying that. Green Valley, Green River, Green something is sponsoring it. I forget the name. But if you want to get have assigned roads or area or something, you can contact the first selectman and then meet up with them on Saturday and get supplies. You get gloves, bags, everything.
I believe that's Drug Take Back Day also.
I think so. They usually do it at the same time.
Yep.
Yeah.
So if you have some descriptions you want to get rid of or whatever, things like that, then take them to the town garage.
And they're looking for volunteers with trucks to haul stuff to the transfer station.
Yeah.
That's open 7 to 1, no charge on Saturday.
Oh, we put that out with the fire department too. So.
Yep.
That's good. So let's see. Scott Fryer says if you're on time, you're late.
Yeah. I hear that all the time.
Well, then she's always late.
I disagree.
Really late.
I
then.
respectfully disagree.
And then Laura says my husband is always on time. Me, not so much.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I think that's a woman thing.
It's just
I hate to say it, but
no. You're probably no. You know what? My brother is worse than I am. So no. Yeah, he's horrible. He's the type we have a holiday or something, and he's like, oh, I'll bring whatever, and then he'll get there an hour late with the stuff to make what he's supposed to be bringing, and then he'll make it while he's there. We're pretty much like, dude, we're ready to eat. Yeah, he's awful. Like you have to tell him an hour ahead of time so he gets there on time.
Yeah, my wife is the same way. She's never on time.
Yeah.
I have to keep saying, let's go.
Yep.
Let's go. Yeah, same thing.
Yeah, I think in our family it is Walden time. It really
my
is.
My wife's always rushing me out the door.
Oh,
then I got to go back inside.
So you're the late.
No, I'm not really. We usually leave pretty early for everything, and I know it's like the play the other night. Okay, I want to leave 1:15, and then it's like 20 of you ready to go. I'm like, is it 1:15 yet? I got 20 of right now. I got 5 more minutes to linger. So
I missed the play. We had tickets for Friday night and I wasn't feeling well. And I'm like, I can't do it. And we missed it. I heard such great things about it.
I saw the first half of it, and then we had to clean up and go home. But I saw the first half. It was good.
Yeah. There were people posting all over Facebook about how good it was. And I was really upset that we had to miss it, but there was no way I was going to be able to sit through that. Yeah. But so congratulations to them. Did they announce what next year's is going to be? Do you know?
I did not hear.
I don't think they do. I think
they usually announce it. I thought on Saturday night.
I thought they waited.
Yeah.
I know they had a special presentation Saturday night for Matt Babcock.
Yeah. Yep.
So that was. I don't know if that was. I think it was at the end.
Yeah, probably. So, I'm curious as to what next year's is.
They do it they do one every year. That's every one of those good.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. I heard it because I volunteered there Wednesday and Thursday night because after the rain distribution thing, I dried off and then went to the school to go volunteer, and so I could hear a lot of it, but I just didn't see it.
Yeah.
So, but congratulations to them.
Yep, I'm sure there's a lot of dry eye in the house at the end of Saturday between the Matt Babcock thing, and also all the kids get very emotional because all the work they put in that becomes last night.
Yeah,
my kids went through that the last night. So,
it's a lot. It's a lot. Yeah. They put a lot of time into putting that production on.
Yeah, my granddaughter went through it too.
Mm-hmm. Yep, and not just the actors and actresses, but all the supporting. All the lights and all the technology and the all of it. The backstage people and there's so much involved in it, and it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work.
It was very good.
So if anyone knows what next year's is going to be, let me know. A lot of funny
stuff too. They put in some funny
That's what I heard. Too bad.
I think it's going to be better late than never.
Yeah, whatever.
Anyway, Laura says we have a friend that's always late by hours. We always tell him it starts at an earlier time. So
that's a good point.
But he's still late.
That's my brother.
That's what I'm going to tell her. It starts at 8:30. Yeah. We're starting the show at 8:30 now.
That's it. I mean, you can start the show at 8:30. I start at 9-ish. That's all.
That's what I said. Make sure 9 a.m. She goes 9 a.m. ish.
It's a good thing you work from home.
That's right. I'm sure when she gets zooming on her
probably
meetings,
late
stuff like
at
that,
home too.
She's probably
Sometimes
zooming in about 2 minutes late too.
Yeah.
There are times where I kind of roll out of bed for my early morning meetings and just go downstairs, and I may be a minute or two late. It happens.
Oh.
Yeah, totally. I'm not the only one though.
I'm sure.
There's a lot of us. Yeah. We're just like, whatever. And then you just say, oh, sorry, I had a meeting right before this. It ran over. My bad.
So anyway, the title I have on here, I don't know if anybody can see it, is Taxes Utilities are up and coming in July. So I don't know if anybody knows, PURA voted 2-1 to agree to increase the electric rates at 19%.
Wow, I'm shocked.
So it's like they said an average of $30 to $38 more a month for the average individual.
Wow.
Homeowner. And with the proposed tax increase here in town, you're looking at about, depending on your property, you're looking at about the same thing.
$38 a month?
$30 to $38 a month. It depends on your house.
Now we're up to $76.
You're looking at the top end.
Yeah. Well,
you're looking at median. So you're looking at about $60 to $70, maybe $80 a month, depending on your property.
That's just those two things.
That's just those two things.
Yes.
Now, gas just went up 30 cents a gallon.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
So,
and wastewater, sewer's going up. Sewer rate will most likely be going up this year.
That's the borough, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's the borough. Yeah.
So you can figure it out.
But they won't see the electric rate.
Well,
for the borough.
That's what I'm kind of wondering. I'm kind of curious.
I'm wondering if it'll filter down.
Well, you would think they have a signed contract with a specific rate because they buy it.
Mm-hmm.
So they generate it. Until that contract runs out, you're probably pretty safe.
If they generate their own power, they probably don't have to worry. They just sign a contract with the borough. I guess this is the rate or whatever. But
I don't know where they get it from.
They got to have replacement power, right? If they have an issue with generating power, then they got to buy replacement, like Millstone used to do. if a plant went down, they still had to supply power, so you have to buy replacement power, which was a lot more than what they generated.
Yeah,
So,
I don't know whether I know they're connected to Eversource because it comes in through tunnel.
Yeah,
but I don't know.
Okay.
Just be prepared. Everything's going up.
Yep.
Everything will be going up.
Yeah, and the darn supermarkets, their price gouging.
Yeah.
You know, it's not because of the increase in pay, minimum wage, or anything else, or what it costs to deliver the food.
Well, I laugh because who were the ones that said it was price gouging? The legislature. So what are they doing?
Government.
Pointing the finger at somebody else rather than looking within to say, okay, what are we doing that's causing these prices to go up?
Yeah.
But they're not doing that. They want to rather point the finger.
Yep. And if grocery stores are price gouging, that means everybody else is too.
And then
all the other
retailers,
right?
It's not them. It's always somebody else.
Yep. Look at the airlines. The cost of a flight right now is even the cheap airlines. The budget airlines are even pretty pricey. Everything's up.
They're also starting to minimize the amount of baggage you're bringing on now too, because everybody's buying those smaller suitcases. Now they're bringing the 2 of them.
Yeah,
so they can stick them in. So they don't have to be charged or whatever. It's
and they're charging them.
So
well, that's like a Velo is the budget one out of Tweed down in New Haven.
Yeah,
and we'll sometimes use that. We have family in Florida, so we'll bounce down there on a Velo, and it's very there's no Wi-Fi, there's no screen, it's bare bones. But when you order the ticket, you get the ticket
on the wing.
Yeah, pretty much.
Got to watch out for the propeller.
Yeah. Well, they have you started as you're walking. Everyone gets a spin on it to get it going. But you buy your ticket on one screen, and then you go to the next screen, and then you choose your seat. So, and then depending on the type of seat, it costs money. So even like the plain Jane seat is like $12 or whatever. So round trip, that's $24. And then if you want the more space seat or whatever, obviously it's more. And then you go to the next screen and it's $40 for a checked bag, $50 for a carry-on. So by the time you add everything up with the taxes and fees, it's the same. You might as well just go to JetBlue or Delta out of Hartford.
Yeah,
it doesn't really... It's not much of a difference. It's awful. And you get no Wi-Fi. I have to say going through like screening and TSA and all that there is very easy at Tweed. You just kind of, go right through. And parking's like $20 a day there. It's ridiculous.
Well, it's the same every airport. You get parking. It's like if you park it for a week, it's $70, $80 or something like that, maybe $100.
Yep. I've flown out of Boston before and come back, and I've had a $300+ pay like for my parking.
Yeah,
ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous.
Well, I was going to go fly out and see my mom because she's not doing well, and the flight wasn't. It was still like $800 for the flight out to Seattle and back, but the room I was going to stay there for like 4 or 5 nights, and it was like $800, and they were going to hit me for a $400 tax fee.
Yeah.
Fees and stuff. It's like $1,200. So I was looking at, plus the car was $500 to rent a car because they used to pick me up. She can't drive anymore. So I got to rent a car to go see her. It was turning into $2,500 to go see her for 5 days.
Yeah. Ridiculous. I know. Well, when I go to the office in Boston, I stay at the Yotel, which is just like, it's like a microtel. Like it's very bare bones, but it's still between it has like a conveyance fee and a tourism fee and like all these like different crazy fees. To stay in this one little hotel is almost $1,000 for like 3 nights.
So
when I go, or
Mike's
2 nights.
Listening in. Mike's listening
Oh,
in.
jeez.
This is a fun conversation as I sit in an airport. So he's probably selling tumblers in the airport to pay for his flight back. That's what he's doing, So anyway,
missed you at the flea market.
And so it's
I totally forgot. I was like, why is this
I thought
car
he was
at
in
the
the
house?
air already.
Like, why is this car at the house? Why isn't he at the flea market? And I get to the flea market, Nick's like, haven't seen Mike yet. I don't know what's going on. I'm like, I don't know. Totally forgot he was gone.
Yep. So Laura says it's going to be tough for those on fixed incomes to be able to afford all these increases. I foresee lots of people taking advantage of assistance programs to help.
Mm-hmm. Which
is going to increase the taxes. It's just a never-ending cycle.
Yep.
Which is,
unfortunately,
they want everybody to get on all these plans and stuff, and it's just because we can't create jobs in this country. We can just increase minimum wage.
Well, you got to vote. Vote in November.
Victoria says, replying to Mike, it's Mike Minarski. At least it's not a conversation about crazy people on planes or crashes. And Mike says, gee, thanks as I get on a plane. Nice job, Victoria.
Right?
So, hey, she was doing all kinds of good comments on Friday. I was laughing.
Oh, I'm sure. Well, flying is one of the safest ways to travel. So it's all good.
So you can tell Kathy's feeling a lot better.
I am.
She is.
I'm feeling better.
A lot better.
She's
into this.
I hate. Do you ever get sick and it just knocks you on your ass? Like you
probably needed some rest anyway. You don't sleep.
Yeah.
Did you sleep a lot?
Yeah, I slept. Yes.
That's good.
I slept a lot. I think I slept till 1 o'clock or something on Saturday. It was crazy.
Peace and quiet for Rich.
Yeah. Whatever. I don't even know where he was.
Today, he didn't care.
I know, right?
I know where he was on.
Yesterday, they had the live burn.
Was it Saturday? Saturday, I know where he was a couple times. So we were at River Ridge one time.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
And then we were down on Palmer Avenue a little later on that night. A couple calls.
Yeah, yep.
I was asking her, how are you feeling? All like that. Oh, she's doing okay. She's trying to get through it.
I was supposed to have training in Bristol too for the RTC, and I was like, nope, I'm not doing it. I'm like, I can't. There's no way. I was supposed to go out to Bristol on Saturday morning. I'm like, nah, I'll do it some other time.
You gotta take care of yourself.
Yep.
That way you can take care of your husband.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Anyway. Yeah, taxes. We got. I know Mike's trying to set up another conversation with Scott in the near future.
Yeah, we have the town hearing coming up, I believe, on April 30th.
Yeah.
To be determined.
Yeah.
As to where, right?
As to where, yep. So it's April 30th, location to be determined. That's what Scott put out.
Yep.
Friday.
Yep.
All right, so here's Victoria again. Well, Mike says Victoria is so sensitive. Victoria says, unless the door flies off the plane. Kathy Walton Wassily.
Oh, God. I hope.
You fly in Alaska and you fly
right. They were grounded last week. What is it? It's a Boeing, right?
Yeah,
737 where they got like things flying off. Oh, and one of them had like wheel gear or something that as it took off, the wheel came off and like damaged cars in the parking lot and all sorts of stuff. Yeah, good times.
Then they had a near miss in Washington.
Did they?
Yeah.
DC at Dulles?
Yeah, one was taxiing towards the runway and another one was coming in.
Ooh, so that's not good.
It was like, whoa.
Ooh.
Yeah, there's also some articles I saw about traffic controllers and fatigue and things like that. So
that's been a common thing.
So when I was working in nuclear power, they ended up giving us, we had federal fatigue logs. You only work so many hours a week and so many hours a month, because it accumulates.
I think air traffic controllers are the same way. I think they have to work a certain amount of time, then get a break, and then work a certain amount of time, get a break. But so I'm a big nerd when it comes to this stuff, and I'll actually watch Flight Radar, and I'll watch certain airports, and I've downloaded air traffic control app, and I'll listen to it, and I'm like trying to like learn like all like how they like do all the what all the different codes and everything mean. You'd be surprised how close these planes come when they're like taking off and landing, and it's organized chaos when you're watching it and listening to it. I don't know how they keep it all straight, but it's crazy to see. Like you can see the plane, like the one coming in and one getting ready to take off, and it like takes off, the other one lands right behind it. And I mean, they're a few minutes apart, but still it's pretty damn close, God forbid something happens. And
well, apparently,
so happy flight, Mike.
Yeah, apparently that's what happened with the Southwest guy, because the Southwest guy, he was on getting ready to taxi onto the runway. And apparently somebody told him, go ahead.
Ugh,
No, stop.
I could see that happening. Actually, last night I was listening to it because I couldn't sleep. So I was listening to it and watching it. And one of the planes had landed and they tell them like which way to turn to like get to their gate.
Yep.
So they'll like land and then tell them, turn left on Echo or whatever. But one of them was like, I guess didn't turn on the right thing that he was supposed to. And so you could hear the pilot say, why did you want me to turn there? I'm just curious. And like they're going back and forth. And then the pilot was like, all right, well, we have a bet here on why we needed to do that. He's like, thanks, I won my bet. And this was all on air traffic control last night in Boston, Logan Airport.
I guess I'm driving to Seattle.
It's pretty cool to listen to.
Take you a week, but you'll get there.
Pretty cool to listen to.
Mhm.
Okay. Would you want to get on a plane?
It is. Yeah.
We're not trying to scare people.
I'm not a huge plane fan, but I do like to travel. So whatever. That's what Xanax is for. Take a Xanax.
Wow. Let's see if we got any more comments. Nope, not right now. So
you want to see something funny? Travel with Rich on Xanax.
Yeah.
He sits there and drools on himself the whole time. It's hysterical. You'd think a big guy like him could handle nope. Mm-mm. When we first traveled together, he was like kind of worked up about traveling. I gave him just a half of a Xanax. And I mean, within like 20 minutes, half an hour, he was like practically sitting there drooling on himself. I'm like, yeah, you'll be fine.
Really?
It's all good.
Big guy.
Right?
Xanax?
Yeah.
Wow.
He's
I
very
get motion
sensitive.
sickness.
Oh,
Yeah.
that sucks.
I got seasick going down the Farmington River on a tube.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, God, that sucks.
I know it.
Ew.
Yeah.
I've never done that tubing thing.
Yeah, it's
I've heard it's
pretty good.
Yeah. Other than the seasickness, right?
Yeah, well, I was the one that got seasick.
And my wife's got motion sickness, so that's why we haven't gone on a cruise.
Oh.
Talking to her for years about that, so I respect it. She's got to take Dramamine or whatever when she's on a plane.
Oh.
And
I can't even imagine that.
But it's gotten better now that she holds one of the babies. It keeps her occupied.
Yeah, yeah.
Usually she's helping one of the girls or whatever.
Oh, that's got to be so uncomfortable, though. I can't imagine.
Well, that was the hardest thing. She's never flown out to Seattle with me. A lot of that's because of the long
She
flights
can't.
and
Yeah.
stuff.
Yep.
It is a long flight.
Mm-hmm.
But,
Yep.
So anyway,
So when's Mike's back today, right?
Mike is. I guess he's already on the plane.
Or maybe not now. Maybe he's like, screw this. I'm renting a car. He's like, enough of this stuff.
Oh, he's probably laughing.
Mm-hmm.
Because what we're talking about, he's getting on a plane. I thought he was already in the air, but that's okay. We'll hear about it tomorrow.
He'll be fine.
He'll be back tomorrow. His jolly old
See,
self.
if I knew which flight it was, I could track him on flight radar and listen to the air traffic controller.
You can. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Just look for the little man walking on the wing.
Let's see, Daryl. Hello, Daryl. They used to have a drug. Used to drug Mr. T to get on a plane too. Yeah. So
Really? Oh, they did. That's right. When they would like fly him around on the helicopters and stuff, they would like knock him out. Forgot about. Oh, I used to love watching the A-Team.
Yep. Some people don't. Yeah, they don't like.
Helicopter never bothered me.
No.
No.
But a tube down the Farmington River did. That's
because it was
bizarre.
this way and then this way. It was like
Huh.
So, yeah.
Interesting.
Well, a helicopter can bank.
Right,
turn.
yeah.
No, helicopter didn't bother me.
Like that.
Helicopter
That is
didn't
so.
bother me.
I've never been on a helicopter.
I was only on once.
I flew into the Grand Canyon.
Well, yeah, I was going to say you did the Vegas thing, right? Yep.
Yeah, flew.
Yep.
Yeah.
We saw those helicopters going through the Grand Canyon.
Yeah.
It makes that you could barely even see them. They look like you're standing at the top of the Grand Canyon. We're on the West Rim.
Yeah.
And I mean, you could barely even see them going through the Grand Canyon. So damn big. You don't realize it until you're there seeing it. And all of a sudden you can hear the helicopter, but you can't really see it because it's so small going through the canyon.
Yeah.
But I always saw a few of those flying through there that day.
So it doesn't matter how big and tough you are.
Mm.
It's just if some people can't handle the heights or can't handle the motion. So
yeah.
We had a lot of that in the submarines too. Yeah, I had a lot of that.
Are you kidding me?
Oh yeah.
Really?
Oh yeah. If the sub was getting tossed around, state 6Cs or whatever like that. Oh yeah.
So you'd get tossed around even underwater?
Well, you can feel a little bit of it.
Yeah.
Depends how deep you go. So
I was saying the more to the surface,
so
the
when
more
we
you
were
feel
ventilating
it, right?
or sending out messages or whatever, or up on the surface, and it was rough up there, yeah. And
Would it roll? Like, could a submarine roll over?
No.
Oh, okay. So it's like a boat. It would still float.
Yep.
It would just kind of bob back. Okay.
Yeah, you're bobbing
Interesting.
back and forth.
I think it'd be like a little
I just
beer can floating in the water.
No, I could tell you some stories. Oh god.
I can't. Oh, that must. Oh my God. Just now that I'm thinking of it. So you have a bunch of guys all getting sick in a big metal tube that you can't ventilate. Or can you ventilate?
Yeah.
I don't know. You
Well, when you're on
can.
the surface, you can ventilate.
Oh God, that must be awful.
You got
That would
scrubbers.
make me sick.
Yeah, well, when you're sitting in a small cramped space, we call maneuvering that operated the boat in the rear end, propulsion. And you got the engineer off the watch puking, you got the throttleman puking, and you got the reactor operator puking. I'm the electrical operator. I'm sitting there and watches, and I never did. That was the closest I ever got because I was just watching.
That's what would make me go.
Basically,
Seeing other people go would make me.
And I'm like, oh boy, okay, now you guys are making me sick.
Oh God.
But yeah, it's just everybody would say, thank God we're going down, we're going under. Finally dove and got away from it. But,
holy cow! I never even thought of that. Oh,
I got the surface guys.
God.
On the ships up above, the targets we call them. Yeah.
Were the ones that the airplanes land on? Is that what you're talking about?
Carriers,
Yeah, those. Is that what you're talking
cruisers.
about?
I wonder if you could really feel it on that. That's the size.
You'd still feel it. It's a big ship. You can still
big.
feel it. It depends on the conditions of the seas.
Hmm.
So.
God, I still can't believe they land airplanes on
And
them.
Victoria says people puking makes her puke.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. It wouldn't be the bobbing and the rolling and all that. It would be seeing people puke and then smelling it. I would.
Well, I'll tell you what.
No.
I was in my early 20s at that time. Now I don't know if I can.
If you can handle it.
Because I'm going to tell you some of these rides.
Oh
like roller
yeah,
coasters
Disney and
like
stuff.
that. I used to handle that stuff.
Teacups
And now
spinning around.
And now it's like I'm not really that thrilled about getting some of this stuff.
Yeah.
Like the Guardians of the Galaxy ride.
What's that? I don't know what that is.
It's the new one down in Epcot. I don't know if you saw the movie Guardians of the Galaxy. So they got the same characters, and it's like a story. You try to follow the story where you're on this ride and it's spinning you all over the place, like flipping you over and all like that. It's like first time I went on, I had just eaten dinner. That was a mistake. I was not feeling well when I got on, so I'm not going on that ride again. Then I went on it again about a year later, and I was prepared for it. I didn't eat before I went on. And it was still a little but it wasn't as bad as the first time. But a lot of people, that's a wicked ride. Yeah, I'm going to do that again. I said, good luck.
Yeah.
I mean, if I was in my 30s, probably wouldn't have bothered me.
Yeah. When I was younger, I used to like roller coasters, and the more spins and flips and all that, the better. As I've gotten older, nope, been there, done that. I'm good. All set. Can't do it now. Yeah. Never got seasick down the Farmington River, though. I can't believe that.
I took a lot of heat to that.
I'm sure you did.
My wife and my grandson, they went down, no problem. But me?
Oh my God. Do you get sick going like on a lazy river, like a resort or anything? Do you get sick doing that?
Well,
just sitting on
gosh, could you imagine sitting on a tube, like just like, yeah, like because it's moving? No.
I think it's just a quicker action.
Oh,
when we used to go to Block Island or go to the Cape, go to the other island, I take Dramamine.
Wow, really? Just for that?
Yeah.
Wow.
I would never. I didn't think about taking Dramamine for the Farmington.
Yeah, I never would have thought of that. Yeah.
Because you're outside.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. I've always wanted to do that, though. I've heard it's really fun.
Yeah, but you got to make sure you go at the right time because you wouldn't want to go now with the water being so
it'd be freezing now.
No, it'd be the water. You got to be careful of the water, too, because it can get pretty rough, and a lot of people have drowned.
Really?
Oh, yeah. They actually, I think last year there was a time they actually shut it down and nobody could go.
Oh,
you have to sign a waiver, too.
Well, yeah, I figured you'd have to do that. I didn't realize it got that.
Or whatever. They don't have lifeguards or anything?
No.
I didn't know it got that rough.
Yeah, you got to sign a waiver when you go down a river.
Huh. Mm-hmm. And then they bring you back, right? They like put you in a van
take you down
or something.
And they bring you back with a bus.
Yeah. I've always wanted to do it, but I always forget about it. And then at the end of the summer, I'm like, oh, missed it again. But
At my age, I'm not that excited about doing stuff like that. I'm sorry.
well, I mean,
I
it's
did
supposed to be like a relaxing sort of thing. Like I've heard you can bring a cooler, you bring your beer, you know, that kind of thing.
You just lay on the raft and on the tube and just,
Mm-hmm.
if it's high enough,
Float
it just
down.
takes you right down. So
Mhm.
it's not like it's hard.
And you can get off on the side in certain
sometimes
places,
the
right?
water's low, you got to get out and you got to walk.
Mm.
You know,
But yeah, I've heard you can like bring a cooler and, you know, do whatever, you know, but
Yeah.
I've never done it. Maybe this summer.
I did the Blizzard Beach drop. I think it's like 60 feet, something like that, up in the air. I don't know, maybe higher.
Like a free fall type of.
No, you go down a slide. It's a water slide.
Oh, yep.
And I was way up there. And
I did one of those.
so,
Yep.
that was cool. But
I did
Yeah,
that when
a
I was
couple times.
younger. Yep. Well, the one I did was Geronimo, and you have to like cross your hands, cross your feet, and you like go straight down. Ugh. Yeah, I did that once, and I was like, okay, yep, check that box, done. Not doing it again.
you get the water wedgie.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, yeah, and then you got all the guys standing around at the bottom waiting for the girls to get up because they got their bathing suit up their ass, and you know, tops are flying off, and you know, and you got all the guys, all the young boys, all like the teenage boys, like watching. Oh, here comes one. Here comes. Hey, look, there she comes.
You're staring at my mom. Stop it. Anyway.
It happens.
Yep.
What are you gonna do? So
Life.
what else is going on this weekend? I mean, this week.
This week?
I haven't checked the
Board of
meeting
Selectmen
schedule.
tomorrow night, I
Mhm.
think. I think there's a meeting going on now.
A special meeting.
9:00 special meeting. Let's see what else is going on. We got Board of Ed Thursday.
Yes, we do.
And
You gotta
I
look at
think
that
that's it.
packet.
It's a light week.
Yep, Board of Selectmen. Yep, special Board of Selectmen now. There's a rec special meeting the 22nd. What's that, tomorrow?
Today.
Today's the 22nd. At 7 o'clock, rec special meeting at 7 o'clock. Glasgow WCPA. I'm sure that'll be exciting. That's at 6. Board of Selectmen 6 tomorrow. And then 7 pond weed control.
Oh, that's Petro.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. But yeah, that's it. So today, just 2 special meetings at 9 a.m., 7 p.m.
All right.
And that's
So,
it. So it's a pretty light week. The Board of Finance meetings have been canceled because they're all set up until the public hearing on the 30th.
A lot of the meetings are first part of the month, not so much at the end.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
and I think, what was it, June 4th was the proposed referendum vote? Everything.
Yes, that's the proposed referendum vote. Yep.
And if we're doing public announcements here, I got I'm going to say it one more time before Mike gets back and he slaps me around.
Yeah, what's he going to do now?
Jewett City Fire Department, stuffed chicken breast dinner, May 18th. Jewett's, the Jewett City Fire Department from 4 to 6 p.m. And takeout only, $15 donation. Tickets available at the Jewett City Firehouse, Jewett City Greenhouses, and your local voluntary firefighters are carrying around tickets. Also, you can ask and
So
appreciate the
what
support.
are they stuffed with?
Stuffing.
Stuffing.
Oh, regular stuffing?
Mm-hmm. Yep, it's really good. Let me tell you, those chicken breasts, it's enough for 2 people.
Oh, so they get
They're
it from the Playboy
huge.
country.
Yes.
Oh, I got you.
Yes.
Those are Playboy chickens.
Oh, yeah.
Playboy chickens.
Big booby chickens.
They're huge though. They're I mean,
how's
like
that?
I'm
Huge.
huge.
Breaded stuffing implants. There you go.
Yeah, right. But yeah, they have stuffing in them. Then you get mashed potatoes, a vegetable, green beans or corn or whatever. You get a roll, a cookie,
Yep.
gravy. I mean, it's
You really can't eat it all. I
no
couldn't eat it all.
way, no way. Yeah, it's huge. It's enough for 2 meals for sure for
Huge.
$15.
Huge.
And for you husbands that have wives that are tired of cooking, it's a good deal for you guys.
Uh-huh.
Bring home a free dinner.
Yep.
Or not free dinner, but she doesn't have to cook.
Mm-hmm. Or clean
Clean-
because it comes in
clean
a
up,
container. You just
Yeah.
close the container, chuck it,
eat
or
and
throw
chuck
it back in the fridge.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yep. So
All
that's
right.
coming
You
up.
got anything to put out there, Paul, about public health and safety? Since we're on
Since
public
we're on that topic.
messages, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Before Mike shows up and doesn't let us do any of this stuff.
I
not
know
charges.
he doesn't want us to do any of that stuff for some reason. Here we are. It's the mental health QR training that's going on. I think it's what, the 14th of May. Is that what today it is? I know I wrote it down.
It's coming fast. I can't believe how much time flies.
April's flying by.
Yeah, QR training. It's at 6. Starts at 6 o'clock. It's actually has to do with mental health and stuff. And it's at 6 o'clock at the library. It's being sponsored by Visual Health and Safety. So
Yep.
get as many people there as we can.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, I'm going to go. I really don't go to that mental health training because when I'm old, they don't call it mental health. They call it
senility.
They call it dementia.
yeah. So, but,
Alzheimer's.
God, I took the drugs 2 minutes ago. I got to take them again.
Well, I have late breaking news. The town clerk that's retiring July, whatever it was, first,
she was
third, or
going
whatever.
to, but I heard she's staying.
November 15th now is the new date.
She's staying through the election.
She's staying through the elections. Yep. She's decided to extend her retirement to November 15th, and that'll give enough time to hire a replacement and train.
Yeah. She probably changed her mind because she can't afford to retire. Think about it.
The extra rates increases and stuff.
Yeah, seriously.
Think about it.
Yeah.
But we took a look at it and said,
I was like, never
how
mind.
am I going to retire?
It does make sense, though, to stay through the elections. Who's trying to hire somebody a few months before the election and get through all that? Oof.
So I want to talk about this rate increase. If you read the article about the rate increase,
Which I did not read.
it's about all the fees that our legislation has imposed upon the utilities for making up for people that can't pay.
That haven't paid,
That
yeah.
haven't paid, can't pay.
Yeah.
It's part
whatever.
of it. Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter. It's falling on the people that can pay to pay more.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like anything else. We're just enabling a issue that won't get resolved because, I think Victoria said or Laura said, more people get on state assistance to help pay the bills. And then that'll create more people to get on assistance.
Which will increase your taxes to support the people for the program. Yep. It's just a vicious cycle. That's why I said
it's funny that they
have
said
to vote.
The supermarkets are price gouging, but the utilities or legislation is.
I mean, if you probably look at that bill, there's probably some state taxes in there that hidden in there somewhere that the state is making money on. Yes.
Probably.
Yeah.
And
I would say yes, because they're not going to put a rate in if they can't make any money on it.
So PURA is somehow connected to DEEP, right? Don't they report to DEEP?
I think there's something. Yeah, isn't that something new?
They used to be independent,
They
but
were
now they're
independent.
tied to DEEP.
Yeah.
Which is the Energy Department of Energy and Environmental Protection or something like that.
Yeah.
So, not to mention the fact that all those people are tied to the utilities. They do a really good job. They could probably get promised to be on the board. So there's a lot of conflict of interest going on here.
It always boils down to money.
Yep.
Always boils down to money. There's money backing something somewhere for the change, for the increase, for whatever it is.
Legislators don't do anything unless they're going to make a buck. Let's face it.
Yep. Or somebody they know is making a buck or something. I mean, that's what I'm saying. It's always money.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah.
No matter what.
That's why when you look at this oil thing that they want to get you off of these electric cars, what did that do? That's going to spike the price of oil. Oil's up to $100 a barrel right now. You don't think any of those legislators are making money out of that stuff? Sure they are.
Yeah.
I mean, how can you work for a job look at Biden, 40 years he worked for the government. What's he make, $150,000 a year?
Yeah.
He's a multi-millionaire with houses and everything everywhere.
He was just a very savvy investor.
How can you do that?
That's all it is.
Because they make the laws and they allow themselves to do insider trading where nobody else can do the trading like that. Yeah. It's against the law for people like us.
Yeah.
You just got to follow their investments and just copy them. Do what they're doing.
Yeah.
Look at Pelosi.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Yeah.
Oh,
and I'm sure, and it's not just, one party versus another. They're all doing it. They all have their hand in it. It's ridiculous.
Well, they keep picking on Trump, but he keeps saying, "Hey, I'm just following your laws.
Yeah.
I'm just following your tax laws. I pay
Yeah.
a lot of people and a lot of accountants to make
Yep.
sure I'm doing everything legal." It's
Yep.
just like this whole thing with New York
Mm-hmm.
and his properties and stuff. He's paying his bills. He's
Yeah,
not hurting anybody.
No,
But they just are going after him.
he's following the law.
They don't
You gotta hate the game, not the player.
I think they forgot about Clinton. How he paid off his hooker
Yeah.
years ago.
Uh-huh.
Remember?
Oh,
yeah.
what was
that's
yes?
allowed.
What was that? Jennifer Flowers and all
Her
that.
name was
Pauline, Paula,
Yeah.
Paula Stone,
Oh, yeah.
Paula,
Yeah.
whatever her name was.
Different story back
But
then.
they love Clinton. He was a great president. Yeah, come on, stop it.
Yeah. Yeah. And who was the blue dress lady? Monica Lewinsky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But-
well, anyway,
Whatever.
it's
Whatever.
just- whatever. It's just.
But that was
just
in the
nonsense.
Oval Office. That was different.
Yeah, totally
It
different.
was during his break.
Right. Yes. His 15-minute
Yeah.
his 15-minute break.
Not even that, probably 4.
So anyway,
Ugh.
we got anything else going on, Kathy?
So we have Earth Day on Saturday. So you can look up Friends of Patchogue Forest on Facebook and get information on that. It's also been posted all over several different Grizzled pages and things. There are different groups. So Friends of Patchogue Forest is kind of managing it all, but there are different groups that are also working with them. So you can find that on Facebook. You mentioned the chicken dinner. May 19th, there's a community yard sale from what I saw on Facebook. I think that's down at Veterans Park. And then June 15th is Heroes Day and fireworks. And then we
Oh, you're
also,
going to be there, right? Heroes Day, celebrating you.
yeah.
You're a hero.
I'm a hero, all right. No, I think we want to be there, I think.
Yeah, we're.
Are they having like a setup? Like
There's some kind of safety stuff going on, but
We're going to have.
we want to bring this health and safety.
Yeah,
yeah,
there.
and that makes sense. I didn't know, like, because before when they've had the carnival, because they have the carnival, like, what, the 14th, 15th,
13, 14,
15th, so, yeah. So, and usually they have, like, vendors set up and stuff like that. I don't
Yeah.
know if they're doing the Youthtopia, I think, but I haven't seen that, so I don't know if they're doing it differently this year.
I don't know, but we
I
thought
don't know.
about
Can we
doing
afford a
that.
table now? Can we afford a table now?
That's right.
So
We
We don't have anything.
don't have any money.
You could still, hey, the budget's not final. You can still go back
Oh, yeah, you
and
can still go back.
and argue, ask for $500.
That $1,000 went out the window.
Oh, that I know.
That went out so
That
fast.
was like number 2 on
But
the, on the list.
but that's all right. So go back and ask for 500. It's not final. Go back,
Uh,
put in a justification. Hey, this is what we need it for. This is what we're going to use it for. This is
So we had a lot of conversation over the weekend and in the end of last week about the $600,000 we borrowed and do we need to pay it back?
yeah.
Do we really need to pay it back? I mean, I think our limit is 19%. We're over 18% now in the general fund. Do we need to pay it back?
I don't know.
So
That would be a good
that's
question
one of the
for Scott
questions I
Davis.
think when Scott comes in. I mean, I mentioned it to him also in an email. I also mentioned it to Eric.
Mm-hmm.
And the feeling I'm getting, maybe it's because we're used to doing that. I don't know. But if we're at 18.1 or 3% already,
What's the max?
19, I think the lower limit's like 10.
Yeah. So if we didn't have to pay it back, then we wouldn't need to borrow another 150.
That's correct.
And then maybe they could actually add things back to all the cuts that they
like
just
the-
took.
No, they won't cut it. They won't add it back because they want to keep it right down.
But why?
Oh, they do, but there's a
That's-
couple things they need to
that's
put
so
on there.
yeah.
There's a couple things. I mean, the assistant full-time back to youth services. Talked about, Todd brought up at the end about the wash pit to
To maintain the trucks.
maintain the trucks,
And-
the town trucks, the fire trucks.
And that makes sense because
What's
you're extending the life of your investment, the trucks that you have.
We're spending a couple $100,000 just
Mhm.
trying to fix one of the frames.
Yeah.
On the Griswold trucks
Mm-hmm.
that they were asking for during that meeting.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, maintenance costs money. So I would say they need to get, I guess they're going to get a quote and then they'll go from there.
Yeah, but I think if they don't need to add the 600,000 back or pay it back, I would say I know they're trying to keep the mill rate low, and I get it, but we've already kept it so low for so long that we're playing catch up. If we don't have to pay that back, let's use that to our advantage and increase some of these things so that we can do more roads. We can, support our volunteers. We can, there's so much that could be done with that 600,000 and still keep the mill rate at the 1.3 4,
Well, I think-
5, whatever the heck it's at.
That's the mindset, is that they've already established a point where they want to have the number of mill rates.
Yeah, and I think that's too low personally.
And that's
And
what
I
they're,
get
that's
it.
what they're using to
I know.
add.
Well, their
the lead.
job is to protect the taxpayer. I understand.
Well, I
that.
agree.
You know,
I get
it's
it.
like, but you got to be
But
smart about
you
it.
can't set us up for future. You have to. It's not a short term,
You can't
short
think about
sighted.
just this year.
Right.
You got to think about down the road.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Next
things are
year,
going up.
5
Look at
years
this
from
year.
now.
We just
Mhm.
talked about the electrical rates going up.
Mhm.
Just talked about all the everything else is going up.
Mhm.
So, and the other thing that hurts is you're talking about the legislators. Everything that comes out of Hartford, there's mandates for the schools, there's
Mhm.
mandates for the town,
Mhm.
and that stuff costs money. Like the early voting, that costs the town money.
I think that's a $50,000 line item, if I'm not mistaken, or
For-
close to it. They may have changed it now.
And what
but-
kind of bang for the buck are we getting on the early voting? I mean, the primary vote was not a very good test because a lot of people weren't interested because Biden and Trump were already got the double.
Yeah, yeah.
That was just a waste
I think it was
of
like
time.
54 votes or
Well, that's
50
because
something votes for
Lamont
that.
is following Biden. He's a
Mhm.
big Biden fan. He wants to be part of Washington.
Yeah, well,
Mhm.
he was backing off the electric vehicles middle of last year,
Then he went
something like
back.
that. And then he went back to pushing the electric vehicles, even though we don't have an infrastructure to support the electric vehicles.
That's right. The manufacturers
they-
are backing
They
off
don't- they
making
don't
them
think
too.
about that.
Yeah, so it just doesn't put in the cart in front of the horse again. You know,
Mhm.
you can't, and then California is going to be all electric by, I don't know, 2035
No, they're
or
not.
something like that.
No, they're not.
And then Connecticut's trying to follow suit. And it's like, you can't do it. You just don't have the electrical infrastructure to
Yeah,
support
but
it.
you're
No.
talking common sense.
Oh.
Yeah. Stop trying to
Legislatures
add
have
logic.
No common sense. They don't have any common sense at all. Face it.
They're doing it for other reasons.
Oh, I know.
They're pushing it for other reasons.
Yeah,
But and
Investments.
it's not
They
going to
got-
happen.
They got
It's
personal investments involved in all this.
Sure
but
it
I mean,
is.
it's definitely not going to happen. I mean, you have the car manufacturers that are already backing off manufacturing a lot of these EVs because they're not selling. They don't have the infrastructure. I mean, it's just not. I think eventually it could probably happen, but 2030, I don't think
It's only
I
6
don't,
years away.
right.
How much
I
do
don't
you
see
think
it
it's going
happening
to
by then.
cost you to charge your car?
Who knows? Probably
they're
more
already
than gas at this point.
They're already throwing a tax on that right off the
Mhm.
bat because you won't be paying the highway fees like you do for the gas,
Mm-hmm.
right? They already got a highway use fee on the gas.
Oh yeah,
So,
they're going to add a tax to those chargers.
You
It's
know,
just a matter of
because
time.
that tax
let's
helps
use
pay for the
electricity.
roads.
We're all bitching about the price of electricity.
Mhm.
Now you're going to have everybody using it.
Mm-hmm.
So they still got to go out and get electricity
Right.
because utilities don't have any generation. So they're going to buy it.
Yeah.
As demand comes up, guess
Mhm.
what?
Yep.
What
Oh yeah.
kind
No,
of car?
there'll definitely be a tax on the electric for
So you won't be
vehicles.
able to afford to even charge your car because you want to cut down your electrical
Mhm.
rates.
Or they'll tell you you can't charge your car right now because we don't have the power on the grid and
Mhm.
you're going to have brownouts and blackouts.
Which you
so-
saw in California already. They've already done that.
Oh, wait a minute. California's got it all figured out.
Yeah. Right.
Just
That's
think of
what
a
they're telling
hurricane.
everybody. Yeah.
Lose
Right.
power for 5 days.
Yeah.
Guess what? Your car sits in the garage. You can't even open your garage door
Yeah.
because there's no power to open
Yeah.
up the door opener.
Uh-huh. Or what about just after the eclipse a few weeks ago, and a lot of the EV cars that were stuck in the traffic because the traffic was insane trying to get down from Vermont, New Hampshire. They were all stuck on the highway. They were running out of juice.
Run out of juice.
And they were literally, there was news things about it. They were just showing videos of just cars just stuck on the highway because they
Oh.
ran out. And what are they going to do? And then they bring a truck to charge them
Yeah.
that's powered by a freaking gas generator.
Yeah, that's
Like-
that's the way AAA is going to run now. They're going to have a trailer behind them.
Yeah.
It's going to pull generators.
Yes, seriously, that's what they do now. They come up with a generator to charge your car.
And there's laws about running generators for longer than this amount of time because you're polluting the air.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
That's true.
So there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's. I mean, you can only laugh at this point. I mean,
Again,
it's so
Legislature.
ridiculous.
No common sense. A 2-year-old will have more
Oh.
common sense than them.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of
Well,
comical.
they're letting the money fog their thought. The money that they can make off these things. That's what it is.
Of course
Mhm.
it is.
And they really need to be educated
And it's not just
enough
it's not,
about the topic to make the right decision.
It's not
and
just
they're
the feds either. I would think there's some state ones up there that are probably.
I'm sure that are tied
sure.
in with all that, and of
I'm
course,
sure.
hmm
So, Either that, or they get promised on that they get on some boards or something. If they don't get reelected, they can come work for this company or something like that.
Mhm.
Sure they do.
Follow their policies. Making $300,000-400,000 a year or whatever.
Yeah,
Stock options.
because they're
Mhm.
using their connections.
Right.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
anyway,
So that's what we need to do. We just need to start working for the government. We all need to become legislators. How about
Oh man, I wish I would have thought that 50 years ago.
that? We'd all be millionaires.
oh yeah, yeah. Well, we
Yeah.
keep talking about rich for state rep.
No, Jesus.
Drives her nuts.
No,
After
absolutely
this last
not.
election thing, she became the RTC chair.
Absolutely
and she's
not.
pulling her hair out.
No,
Yeah,
no.
should
I have PTSD from the
Then she'll be-
last
then she'll
campaign and
turn,
election.
like the rest of them.
Oh no.
You know,
You got to be built a certain way and not have any.
I am not built.
any conscience
Yeah.
at all.
Unfortunately, they
Get
go-
deep into politics, I believe.
Ugh.
Yeah, eventually, what happens? The legislatures eventually become politicians.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of like the career path, essentially, right? I mean,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
what happens. And I do believe that a lot of people get into it with the best intentions,
But they get changed. They get
and
corrupted.
they drink the Kool-Aid, and over time they lose sight, I think, of,
Yeah,
of what their intentions were
yeah, they
initially.
get corrupted.
Yeah. It's unfortunate, but
That's
I
exactly what
personally, I
happens.
think that's what happens.
Oh, the further you go, the more money that's involved.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yep.
Yeah, but I know about the mandates from the state and stuff is putting a crunch on the towns,
Mm-hmm.
putting a crunch on the school systems and all
Mhm.
that stuff.
Yep.
They don't care.
No.
Now they're going to take away the property tax on cars. There's no car.
Now they're talking about that.
No,
Well,
which is only going to be replaced by something else. I mean,
Yeah.
let's be honest.
Well,
That
that's
they're not
just to
going to
get
give us
votes.
a break.
people
They're just
have to start realizing why they're doing this stuff. They're buying votes.
Yeah.
Is it making the right decision? They're going to pay for it. They're not going to lose money.
right. You're just going to pay for it somewhere else.
Yeah. Pay for it somewhere
Mhm.
else.
just like the paying off the tuitions.
Yep.
Yeah.
Paying
Same
off
thing.
tuition.
Yeah.
buying votes.
It's not free tuition. Someone's paying for it somewhere along the way. It's the money's coming from somewhere.
Yeah.
That's yeah.
So
See, we just need to get in there and just fix it all. I mean, we have all the answers, so why not
Oh,
just
yeah.
get in there and
Well,
fix
then you
it
have
all?
to. What you'd have to do is you'd have to wipe Washington clean.
Yeah. Drain the
Which-
swamp.
yeah, Paul, you're only 80. I mean, Biden's 81 and he's running for another 4 years. So you're young. You can still do it.
Yeah. Mhm.
I'll never see it.
Oh my gosh, with Biden, it's going to be like Weekend at Bernie's, like with
Can,
him.
can you
You're
imagine
going to
how
prop them up.
Yeah.
what's going to happen now that we have Harris is still running with him?
Ugh, I know.
So
I know.
and he's not a young man, as we all know.
No.
So if he gets back in again, Harris will become president.
Mm-hmm.
If he,
Well, yeah, let's
Has an
face it.
issue,
He's
right.
the best. I mean, the guy's going downhill. There's no doubt.
well, you had one guy write up. He interviewed him for the if he was mentally healthy enough to stand trial for the document thing.
And they said no.
And they said no, but he's mentally healthy enough to be our
To
president.
be, right. Yeah.
And you can see some of the conversations he has and some of the speeches he does. It's
yeah.
like,
But
really.
honestly, I feel bad for him. I really do.
I do.
mean, as just aside, the whole political thing aside, I mean, just imagine if that was your father, your grandfather, your brother,
I saw my father
whatever.
go through that.
I mean, it's-
other people have seen
He wouldn't
their
be in
parents
there.
go through that.
Right.
his wife did that to him.
Yeah. Could you imagine, like, if that was your family member and you're watching them be used essentially, for whatever purpose? But I mean, I feel bad for him,
Yeah.
that he's in that position and he's being used like that. It's not right. Not right at all. And it's disgusting that people are allowing that and even encouraging it. It really is.
Well,
It's
I don't-
disgusting.
And actually, the Democratic Party's been getting beat up about that whole thing, and the Republican Party as well about not having another candidate.
And they should. And
Both parties should have different candidates. I've been saying
Mhm.
that for a long time
Mhm.
now. That I wish they had two other candidates
Yep.
I think we all do.
running.
Yeah. Yeah. I think
You know.
everyone's sick of the whole Trump saga. Everyone's sick of the Biden,
Everybody but
falling
the media.
upstairs.
The media
Right.
loves it because it gives them a lot of
It gives them
fodder
stuff to talk about. Mm-hmm. Yep.
so.
But it would be nice to have two other people that
Yeah,
good
preferably
candidates,
less
but-
than 70.
Yeah. Well, they tried to get JFK Jr. tried to get in there, but then knocking him down. He's never gonna.
Not anytime soon.
He's not.
Well,
Gonna
the two large parties don't want a third party.
No.
Throw as much money or
And
much
again,
influence
it boils down to money
to prevent us from having a third party, because they'll take votes away from somebody that they're, endorsing. And that a lot of people outside of those parties have thrown money at to follow their policies.
Yeah, I think there should be some sort of campaign law or something where no money is involved.
Okay, good luck with
I know. It'll never happen. It's like term limits. It'll never happen.
They're never going to vote themselves out of a job or vote themselves out of money.
But if they couldn't raise money for their campaigns, they just had to run. They just had to find other ways of running with social media and everything. Why do you need to be flying around all over the place? You don't need to be doing that.
It's amazing how much money they raise.
I mean, they're having these dinners, these fundraising dinners. Oh, they raised $50 million. Are you freaking kidding me? For a campaign? Come on. And it's become normal.
And there's people living on the streets. Which they don't give a crap about.
Yeah, you got the veterans that
I was reading an article about, there's a move about homelessness or unhoused. Miranda coached me one day. It's now unhoused, but every time I read an article, they say homeless.
They're homeless people.
So
they have no
people
home.
that don't have a home, and how we're going to resolve that, and they want to build more affordable or cheaper housing to house these people. So where's that money going to come from?
Well,
it come from you and I.
Right.
How's that going to help the towns? It's not going to help the towns.
That's the thing with the affordable housing is, first of all, it's not affordable. Even the affordable housing, or what we used to refer to as low income housing, is still not affordable for most people. I mean, it's still very expensive. So, it's not affordable. It's not fixing the problem that it's intended to fix. But then again, there's these mandates. You have to have 10% affordable housing in the town based on your population and your housing already. Well, so what supports all of that? That goes to the education, that goes to your public services, health services, all of that. And
if you don't meet that 10%, either they can tell you.
They can come in and
come in and say, you're putting that there.
Down some housing and say, sorry.
And if
you don't have to go to PZ.
Disagree, just like a lot of other, if you don't follow all these mandates, then you're not going to be able to get these grants, get this money from the state. So we're going to play the old blackmail game with you. You're going to follow these mandates and do this stuff, or we're not going to give you any of the money that we're giving these other towns.
Boils down to money.
Yeah. I think that's why Griswold suffers a lot, because they're not really Democrat, they're Republican. Let's face it, most of Griswold's Republican.
Well, I would venture to say,
I think it's a pretty good mix, but it is
more on the Republican side.
Most of this side of the river,
it's pretty much Republican.
Is leaning towards Republican, because most of the money is getting thrown at all the large cities on the other side,
on the west side
of the river there, and
it's always been that way.
And we're being left behind. I mean, we got the two casinos over here, and what are we getting out of it?
Nothing.
The money's all going to them.
Hey, whatever happened? Remember all that money that all the slot revenue and the state would get a percentage, and all the surrounding towns were supposed to get a percentage of that way back when
to go
when
towards
they all
education,
started.
I thought, right?
I don't remember what it was supposed to go towards, but I remember way back in the day when they were first here, that it was supposed to go toward I thought it was infrastructure, toward the roads because of the extra traffic and all that stuff. And I don't think the towns ever see any of that slot revenue come from the state.
I think they took it and put it in the general fund.
Probably.
The general pocket.
Yeah.
That's what I'll say. I'm going to call it as I see it. They're just making money off of, off of us again.
Hartford.
It'll be interesting to see. I did read recently that the Norwich State Hospital property that Preston still has, they said is almost cleaned up. I guess they've been actively cleaning it. I was wondering what the status was, but I guess it's almost cleaned up and should be handed over to Mohegans within the next year or so. From what I read,
was supposed to be a water park.
Yeah, well, it's been a bunch of different things. I don't know what the latest is.
Going down to Foxwoods,
right? Great Wolf Lodge.
That's down there, but I thought they were supposed to build some kind of a water thing.
I think they were going to do that. I don't know if that's still the plan, but it'll be nice to see that finally, after all these years, turned over to see what happens with that.
Oh, we got
and what
the parcel over here that's getting cleaned up too, right?
The Stotts.
That's because of blight.
The Stotts property.
That's blatant.
Yeah, but
Well,
next
no,
to
I'm talking-
Petromax
I'm talking
is getting
about
cleaned up
the
too.
old cable, wire and
Oh.
cable property.
Oh,
They've been taking the dirt down, cleaning it
Oh,
up.
yeah,
looking
that's
at it.
yeah, there was somebody
That's down
interested.
201.
Yep.
Yeah, I haven't heard much about that lately.
Yeah, I should probably find out
What's
what's
that?
going on with that.
What's up with that? Do you
201?
know? Yeah.
I mean, there's supposed to be some affordable housing going in there, I guess,
think-
long term.
I think there was supposed to be some affordable housing with a little bit of commercial on the bottom or
I don't know if
something.
that's changed or what.
But I haven't seen any trucks going back and forth. Have you?
They were going. I heard they started it back up again.
Did they?
I've seen some piles of dirt there. and
You
stuff
have?
like that,
Okay.
yeah,
I have.
as
I don't
drove
really
down.
go that way too often, so I don't
No,
know.
It's farther than Ashland Street.
Yeah, it is. Yes, it is. I usually go about as far as Hill Street, whatever
Yeah.
the firehouse
yeah.
is. That's
Oh,
about
yeah.
as far as I go
Yeah,
when I'm
yeah,
going
go
that
down
way.
Hill Street to the firehouse.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much it. Yep. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see what the status is on that. And did EDC get a secretary so they don't have to cancel any more meetings?
Not that I know of. I haven't heard anything.
Let's see. Cortland says, I would not say there are two parties at the federal level. It's more like a movie where they are only playing a role. No offense to the ones who went there with good intention.
Yeah. Very good. Yeah. That's.
Well, yeah, it's like, okay,
Mhm.
I'll give you this if you give me that.
Mhm.
If you take 200,000, I'll take 200,000.
Yeah. Well, I think what he's saying is
Yada, yada,
they
yada.
play the party game, but
Yeah.
I'm sure behind doors they're all
There's a
making
lot.
deals. There's a lot of stuff happening where they're patting each other on the
Oh,
back.
I'm sure.
And there's gentlemen, what do they call them? Gentlemen deals or whatever,
Absolutely.
Oh,
that's
I'm sure if there was a
happening.
vote that went up there about term limits, they'd all vote no.
Of course.
And,
Yes.
and the one or
Somehow
two
it would
that
be a
vote yes,
bipartisan.
the one or two that vote yes, they're going to get frozen out.
Yep.
Or they'll
Mhm.
they'll dig up some dirt on them and say,
Yeah,
you know,
of course.
they'll never get elected again.
Of
So,
course. Yeah. No, he's
what
absolutely
could they
right.
do?
Mhm.
If you kick Schumer out of politics, what would he do?
Right. Mm-hmm.
He probably couldn't even be a janitor.
A lot of them.
you want fries
would
with
they
that?
do? Yeah. You're right.
Yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely.
Well, what's scary is a lot of them were lawyers to begin with.
Yeah, a
Ugh.
lot of them are lawyers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah.
But Court's right. I mean, it is. It's
So, yeah, I don't disagree.
our founding fathers are turning in their graves,
Yeah.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
are. They
unfortunately.
didn't meant for their
Mm-mm.
Declaration of Independence to be like this.
Mm-mm. And the Constitution, and
Right.
yeah,
Mm-mm. Rich always says we need a reset.
yeah. Seriously,
Thomas
Yeah.
Jefferson said, it's always good to have a good revolution every 75 to 100 years or so.
it's
Well,
funny you say that. My brother, who follows a lot of this stuff, and he gets like all involved. He's into like conspiracy theories and stuff too. But he's like, we're on the verge of civil war. He's like, and you know what? We need it. We need a civil war. And I'm like, all right, I'm not. Let's not.
Tell him to go see
like-
the movie that's out.
Yeah, I'm like, let's not get too crazy. But he's like, no, he's like, that's what you need. You need like a good civil war to just knock everybody out and just start over. And I'm like, I don't think I want the civil war.
You don't
for
need
that.
a civil war. The thing is you just need to, I don't know, millions of people, march to the steps of the Capitol, send a message, hey, we're done with you people.
Well, I think
We
that was
need a
tried
change.
already, but that
only
was
a couple hundred. And then they entered
but
the
that
Capitol
was
building.
it was yeah that
but
was
I
labeled
don't
an
say you have to-
insurrection.
I don't think
and
you need to enter the building. You
No.
just need to stop at the steps and
it's
just
a protest, peaceful protest, which is
just like,
allowed.
Yep. Yeah, just a peaceful protest
Mhm.
with signs saying we're done with you.
Mm-hmm.
Change
Enough.
your ways. We want term limits.
Yeah.
Whatever. The people have to speak, and then
Could
see
you-
what happens.
Can you imagine if there were term limits? I mean, could you imagine how that would change so many
Well,
things?
they figure. These people are not dumb.
No.
Probably Figure out
Oh yeah,
a way.
they're shisty. They
Figure out a way to get another clone in there to
of
do
course,
whatever they want to do.
of course, and
But
they would groom other people, but it would still be interesting to see how that would all unfold.
yeah, I hate to see violence break out.
Yeah, no,
because
no.
Then you'd end up with some of the nasty things that happen in our
Mhm.
history.
Yep, repeating
you know,
itself,
Repeating
Mhm.
itself.
and that's what you don't want to repeat history.
I mean, think about it. If there was a civil war, where would we be? North? South?
East,
West?
west. I know. What would we be?
I don't think it'd be a north and south thing. It'd be an ideological thing.
Mm-hmm.
What do you believe in? But I believe,
does that mean?
I truly believe we have government and legislation that they're not interested in the people. They're interested in buying votes.
Mm-hmm.
And then you don't really know if they're really doing anything. They just
Mhm.
say they're doing it,
Mhm.
and I guess in some of the, like the tuition thing,
Yeah.
Some of them are getting paid off, but you know,
Mm-hmm.
I've seen people get promised they're getting paid off and then they get billed. So I don't know.
I mean, a lot of discussion we have here, there's a lot of people who probably don't like it.
Yeah.
So what does that mean? We're going to get a drive-by?
Yeah, right. I know.
No,
Yeah,
we're
no.
just so the thing is, and that's what's the bad thing about America as I see it now is that we can sit here, have a disagreement, and talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
As individuals. That doesn't mean I'm going to come across the table and throw a punch at you.
Mm-hmm.
If you say something I don't like, that's your right to voice your opinion, just like we're voicing our opinions here. But
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that see what's going on in Washington and even in Hartford and don't like what they're seeing.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of hardworking people in this country that are paying their taxes, go to their job, raise their kids, go home, try to mind their own business and try to make ends meet. But it's getting harder and harder to make ends meet as days go by, and eventually, it's going to break.
I mean, look what's happening at Columbia University.
Yeah, I saw that. I was watching the news last night, which I hate watching the news, but I did see that.
Columbia University, I'm sure that the tuition there is not cheap.
No.
A lot of them have student loans.
That's an Ivy League school, right?
Yep.
And, whether you like it or not, I mean, come on. The people that are protesting are people too. They have rights, but not according to what they're protesting against.
That I don't understand. I don't know how that's allowed, but
but that's because the administration of Columbia University is so afraid to say something, to offend somebody,
and I think that's
they won't do anything about it.
Mm-hmm. And I think that's part of it is that if you go against the woke, it's you're going to be blasted for it.
Exactly.
Well, that's not America, is it?
No, it's not. But it's reality, unfortunately. Well, so a lot of people, like you said, like the universities, and they're not going to go against that. And I don't understand why. I don't get why somebody needs to just have the balls to put their foot down and be like, all right, enough of the crap. Yep. We're not doing this. Just enough. But the backlash to that is just so great. I think people are afraid to put their foot down, but it's going to take somebody to start it. All it's going to take is for some big university, some big, company, something to just start that and just put your foot down and be like, enough of the crap. We're done with it. And I think you'll start seeing other people follow suit, but it just takes out that one person to get it going. But
everybody's afraid, though.
Yep. Yeah, they're afraid of the backlash of what it's going to.
Yeah. Yep. They're going to lose business.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you lose your job.
Yep.
Lose business.
Mm-hmm. But will you really lose business? I wonder.
Well, let's face it. Bud lost business.
Yep. There's right. Mm-hmm.
Big time.
They did. So. Yep. But I don't know. I mean, but I think if you actually put your foot down and went against the whole woke thing, I think you'd be surprised. I don't think you'd lose business like you think you would. The backlash initially would probably sting a little bit, but I think in the not being short-sighted, long term.
You get the Facebook warriors out there that are going to bang up people. You got the media that are going to bang you up because they're most of the media is all for this stuff, and they're all getting paid a bunch of money to be putting that agenda out. I mean, and if you don't agree with it, then you're a bad person.
Right. And that's it. You're labeled, as this horrible person, you're a bigot, you're, it's a racist, you're homophobic, you're blah, 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 blah. But I think I don't know. Personally,
they go home in their gated communities.
Right. I think we're starting to see, though, that people are just getting fed up with that crap. Like, enough with that. Yeah. No, I'm not a racist. I'm not a bigot. I'm not a homophobe. Just enough with the crap. Like, just enough. I think we're starting to see people, they're getting fed up with that.
They're getting fed up
with dealing with that crap.
A lot of the news media outlets are losing a lot of ratings because of this nonsense.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the regular
I don't watch news.
Joes don't really like listening to this nonsense. They'll watch the weather and they'll watch the sports and then turn it off.
Well, because a lot of the news now isn't news. It's the opinions of the news station. It's not, they're not giving you facts necessarily. They're giving you some, but from their perspective, and then their opinions on those particular facts. You're not getting the whole picture and all the facts.
No, you're not.
So I don't waste my time listening to any news. I don't care if it's Fox, CNN, what couldn't care less. It's all the same to me.
Yep.
Don't care. I no. Mm-mm.
If you want the truth,
You can't
tune
handle
in,
the truth.
tune
You
in and
can't
listen to
handle-
Paul.
That's right. The Minarski Show. This is where you get the truth.
Yeah, with the program director gets fired every week.
Oh, well.
All
Well,
right.
we went a little over.
Yes, we did.
Got on a little bit of a rant
A
there,
little bit
but
of a rant, but
it's all right.
that's our opinions. You don't have to like it or not. But,
no
you know,
comments on any of that.
No.
Everyone's like, nope,
They're
not
getting
talking
way out
about
there.
that.
Mike would be sitting here going, "Okay, stop."
Yeah,
stop.
he'd be wrapping it up by now.
Let's talk about different dimensions,
Yeah.
or whatever like that, or Bigfoot. Something like that. All right, so
That's
we'll
right. He's
wrap
not
it up.
here, so
Yeah, we'll wrap it up. He's on the plane. So thanks
plane.
for everybody that
The
tuned in,
plane.
listened, and we'll be seeing you tomorrow. Mike will be back. We'll have Ryan Aubin from Youth Services on tomorrow. Talk about his new programs or the programs for the summer and things
sure
like that.
the budget will be
And
discussed
a little
as
bit
well.
about the budget and how
Yeah.
that's impacting him.
Tune in.
And I'm sure Mike will work with Scott Davis, get him on so we can talk a little bit about the budget and get some questions there.
Who else is on? I'm not on tomorrow, am I?
No,
I should
it's
know that.
myself, Mike,
Okay.
and Ryan.
Cool.
And then we'll be back with Psychic Thursday.
What about Wednesday?
I don't come back to Friday.
Wednesday, we don't do Wednesdays.
No Wednesday? Okay.
Still, I think he's still
Okay.
watching Benny Swims.
I'll see,
Okay.
I'll see you on Friday.
And then we got Friday.
Mhm.
All right.
Sounds good.
Okay. Have a good day.
See ya.